Hello and welcome to my channel History and Guys. Today I want to talk about what I've done over the last, about 4 weeks. And it was actually quite a busy period in the hobby for me. First of all, I managed to paint quite a little bit, which I will show you later. Then I managed to squeeze in a game of Saga. Was playing with my pagan rules against Anglo-Saxons. And lastly but not least, I also was able to go to visit the Bavarian Army Museum in Ingolstadt, which was really a wonderful trip and will be probably covered in a separate video. Maybe at the end of the year. I will see how much time I have over the holidays. So, what did I manage to do in the hobby over the last 4 weeks? Well, first of all, I managed to build a gaming board, and the gaming board is basically designed like this. So this is one piece, it's measuring 30 by 30 centimeters approximately, and it's basically built with tile grout on extended polystyrene, so EPS, and with some flocking as well. And I've built, at the moment, I think I have 12 modules. I have 8 more in production actually. So that gives me the ability to have a completely flat 90 by 120 centimeters board. And or I can build a larger board, I think 120 by 120 for example, if I add all the pieces. And the hills, partially, I built in a way that I can either put them at the edge, like this one here, or alternatively there's another piece that fits this hill, so it will go and match this, to have a hill that covers 2 parts of the modular terrain. And the added side effect of this is actually also that I can use this as a background for photography, and I've done that already, together with the trees here. I use that to take a couple of shots of some of the miniatures I painted this month, and you will see more of it later in the beauty shots. So over the last 4 weeks approximately, I managed to finish off 2 units, so to speak. The first one are these Punic elephants by Victrix. I'm not entirely sure if I'm calling them completely finished. I might add maybe some freehands on the second elephant, or maybe I have to do a couple of touch-ups as well, because when I was photographing them I realized there are a couple of minor spots that still could use some refinement. But overall I'm very happy with them. I've also kind of pulled the trigger on how to base a whole unit, and not just this, but the whole of the army that will follow. And I have to say, I really like this this stack of elephants from Victrix. They go together very well. They offer a lot of options in terms of the crew, because you can build them not just as Carthaginians but as Romans, as Ptolemaic successors, as well as Numidians. So lots of variation there. Basically 2 different poses in each back. So as you can see here, one with the extended nose. What is it called? I forget the name actually. And yeah. They come together very nicely, they paint up very nicely, usual Victrix stuff, very detailed, nice structure as well, so easy to pick up some details. And they will be the heart of my Saga Carthaginian warband, and that's why I base them on round bases. Basically that's almost the biggest size you can do for a Saga elephant, and I think I like this round base quite a lot for them, gives them a good impression. So that's the first thing I managed to do. And the second models I painted this month are these battle mechs. These are 2 boxes of mechs from Catalyst Games Labs. and I paint them in white, which is a standard color scheme for the com guards. But I make a slight adjustment by adding also some golden accents, because I think makes them look a little bit more interesting than pure white. And I was actually struggling a little bit with the white, because I was trying to use some contrast paints and probably kept the underpaint a little bit too dark. So I was trying to do some slapshot technique, and I think the Mac, after applying it, was too dark to really become very bright again with contrast paint, because the contrast paint is so transparent, especially this one. And nevertheless, in the end, I'm quite happy with them. I've shown them already on the internet, so it's not completely new reveal here. But I still like the minis from Calculus Games. They do have some drawbacks with their mold lines, and on the other hand, the slightly softer plastic gives you the option to repose them a little bit by just banging them without breaking them, and sometimes you can also try to break off the glue mold, the glue pieces, and basically reposition them a little bit. I can do it here, but just bang them a little bit. So that's it from the painting table, and let's go on to the next section. So what did I get for my hobby this month? And I have to say, this time it's only about books, but quite a lot of them. So the first thing that I got is the most recent acquisition, and that is this book. This is about the different ways of war from 1600 to 1815. And this is a catalog from the Bavarian Army Museum. It's also available in English, and I will probably talk a little bit more about this one when I'm talking in a separate video about my trip to Ingolstadt, because I think that's the more appropriate place for that. So that's the first one. The second one is that Kickstarter arrived. The Kickstarter, I think I backed 1.5 years ago or something like that. And that is a book, or rather 2 books, covering the topic of building terrain, or gaming boards. So in some ways covering what I've done here. And it comes in 2 books. Originally it was planned to be 1 book, but the author, Michael Martin, who has published a book about buildings with EPS before, he decided to make 2 out of it, because it probably became just too much. So the first one is this one, again in German, but also available in English, because the Kickstarter was bilingual. It's about materials and tools, and it's really nicely done, nice quality, nice photographs, and very well structured as well. You can see this is, for example, an example page. I hope it focuses, about brushes in this case. So that's the first smaller one, and the bigger one is about the gaming boards itself. It looks like this, same format as his previous one, and the same format, for example, as well as the terrain essentials by Mel Bose, for example, the terrain creature. And like the smaller book, pretty much the similar layout. Like this is a typical page, and it's very well made. I've been in publishing myself for a little bit as a side job, and you can immediately see that Michael Martin himself has a journalistic background and is an experienced writer, so it's all layouted and designed in a very professional way, and in a way that makes it very easy to execute what he's describing. And then if you have further questions, you can always look up his YouTube channel. It's called Tabletop Workshop, so TWS. It's in German, but I think a lot of the stuff that he shows, when you see what he's doing and maybe use the subtitles, you can probably understand what he's doing. Very good YouTube channel and very good books. And they are now available as well in conventional retail. Now, the next two books are two books that I bought for as my birthday present, basically. So my parents gave me some money to get some books, and originally they wanted to get them by themselves, but they had some computer struggles, so they just sent me the money instead. And those books, both are by Hellion and Company. Yes, and they are both about the 30 Years War. So the first one is this one, In the Emperor's Service. It's a big reflective. Sorry about that, but I think you can read it. So this is about the Imperial Army, about Wallenstein's army to be more precise. And this one is the first one about the Swedish army. As far as I know, there are 2 or 3 more books about it. One is about the Bavarian army, which played a major role on the Catholic side, and one is the second volume of this one, of the Swedish one, because you can already see it's like volume 1 and there's a volume 2 as well. This will be very important for me because I want to do a project about the 30 Years War sometime, hopefully starting next year with the By Fire and Sword Kickstarter, and then I will probably go very deep in this one. So stay with me in that one. And the last and final book that I bought is this one, Iron Man. And this actually is a book that is bilingual, so it's English and German. And it's a lavishly illustrated book or a museum catalog, basically, about an exhibition that was taking place in Vienna, in the armory there, if I recall correctly. I have to check it. Well, Kunsthistorisches Museum Wien, so history of art, basically. And it is about, like the title hints already, about an exhibition of armor and how armor and fashion interacts. And it has a lot of very beautiful photographs, illustrations, but also a lot of text contextualizing what they are showing. And for example, this is, I think, a very interesting page, just as an example. And for me, buying catalogs like this, same as the other catalog I bought in Ingolstadt, always serves multiple purposes if the catalogs are good. First of all, they tend to be very high value for the money that you spend on it. So you get a very nice product for a reasonable amount of money. It is a piece of memory in some ways as well. Well, not for this one because I didn't visit the exhibition, but for the other one. It's a piece of memory and to remember what you saw in the museum and to reminiscence it. And thirdly, I think what's also very important is that you are supporting exhibitions that are of interest to you. So in some ways those museums are always a little bit dependent also to be relevant, to be of interest for the public. And there's a good, it's not just about the visitors, but it's also about the visitors who then purchase something else. And this book is furnished in a really lovely way. It has really beautiful photographs. And I think it was like 30 euros or something like that. So, or 25 euros, I can't recall. So this is really a nice book, and I can really highly recommend it if you're interested in armor. Game we were playing the scenario Prized Possessions, where the defender has to move 3 cards across the field. I unfortunately rolled the lone number, so I had to move the cards, which is not really suitable for my warband because I struggle to activate all the units and I need quite a lot of dice really to get going. And because I had to move, I had to basically use all the guys on moving the warband rather than stacking my special abilities. And my opponent kind of used it to his advantage by being pretty aggressive, pushing into my cards and trying to kill off the cards, or at least kill off a lot of my warband before his own abilities would depreciate due to his own losses, because once the levy units go below a certain number, they basically lose a lot of their strength in the Anglo-Saxon warbank. So we had a very explosive first couple of rounds where I was trying to screen the wagons with my units, and in the beginning it was really, it looked like I was completely gonna get massacred, but like my opponent predicted, the Anglo-Saxons' strength waned over the course of the game, and then I got a little bit lucky in a couple of rounds, a couple of fights where it could have swung the other way and my guys' rolls were just a little bit better, a little bit above the average, whereas my opponent rolled a couple of times rather badly. And I think those kind of key fights in the middle, in the third and fourth round and second round even, really makes a difference. Because then in the end we figured out that with spending enough guys on the activation of the cards, I could basically do double and triple activations to get 2 of the 3 cards into safety. And my opponent was very close actually in the middle of the game of killing off at least one of the cards, which also would have changed the outcome, I think, of the game, which resulted in a clear victory for me, but the score doesn't really reflect how the game really went. So it was a really fun game and I really enjoyed the scenario, and I suspect we will play more Saga scenarios in the club because both of us enjoyed it. Well, and I don't have any projects as a work in progress right now to show, so it's a good feeling to have closed most of the projects that were going on this year. And the next couple of days I think I will just think about what I want to do next year, because it always helps a little bit to structure your own hobbies, goals and your plans. I hope you liked the video. If you do, please share, like and subscribe. And if you're going to, please maybe leave a comment, or if you like it, of course, also leave a comment. I wish you a Merry Christmas, or whatever you might celebrate in the next couple of days, with your families, with your friends. Stay healthy, enjoy the time, and maybe recharge your batteries a little bit as well. And I will see you probably after the Christmas with a new video about my trip to Ingolstadt. Until then, see you.